Hi garden lovers! Welcome back to another Over the Fence landscape tour. Now, have you ever thought, I wonder what western prairies might have looked like before European settlers came and brought their European grasses and plants? Well, today is your lucky day because we get to see a prairie designed by Zach Weinstein using plants historically found in native Willamette Valley prairies. It's so cool to be in a prairie that I imagine emulates the feel of what it might have been to be in a prairie or meadow from pre-settler times. So join me as I go over the fence to this super sweet prairie in Vancouver, Washington. And if you haven't seen part 1 of this series, where we see Zach's native yard featuring lowlands and hillocks and mountains all created with his bare hands, you gotta go check that one out too. I'll link it in the description. Also, I just want to send my thoughts and non-denominational prayers and love out to everyone east of the Cascades right now who is experiencing so much hardship due to wildfire. So many people have lost their homes, their gardens, the plants and trees that they love so much, and you've been living in smoke for days now. Some of you have been living in smoke for weeks. So here's to the rain's coming back soon. So here's my little rain dance for all of us. Boop, boop, boop.
This garden is focusing on Willamette prairie plants. There might be species or two that does not naturally occur in prairie, but for the most part, they are ones you would see here. And even though we're in Vancouver, we are in the Willamette ecoregion.
Is a prairie different from a meadow?
They're all grasslands, but this is more of a lowland kind of grassland. But I grew up with these plants growing in my backyard. Almost all of these species.
Where did you grow up?
Just outside of Corvallis, adjacent to Bald Hill Park. There's not very much good quality prairie, and there are usually a lot of invasive grasses. But right here is a prairie with almost no non-native species at all.
Cool, it's so cool to see.
We're looking at, even though there's like a little bit of soil coverage, we're looking at like 85% native prairie plant coverage.
That's awesome.
And a lot of them, some of them are bulbs, like the Triteleia hyacinthina,
the white.
those
are so cute.
And then the purple ones that are up high, that's the Dichelostemma congestum, or Ookow. And the Wyethia are kind of fading out, but they're like little sunflowers. And
just these kind of little sunflower looking things?
Yeah, so the one with the long leaves, that's mule's ears, or Wyethia angustifolia.
Okay.
They can take a little while to start blooming, but they're lovely.
Okay, that's a bulb too, you said?
No, it has a taproot.
In a prairie or meadow, you have a lot of kind of thin leaves, and so it's nice to have a thicker leaf in there.
Yeah.
Just making a real stately presence.
There's Hall's Aster that's not even blooming yet, but it'll bloom into the fall for the pollinators.
Wow. Is that the same Aster from the back?
No, that was Kootenai Aster. This is Hall's Aster, which also was growing behind my parents' house. It was very tiny, little, in with invasive grasses. Here it's like very happy, and we have it ringed in plastic, so it doesn't spread.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the rosy checker-mallow, Sidalcea, asperella, virgata, but it's not. It was blooming a lot more, a bit more.
But it still looks so good with those seed heads. Like, I mean, I love plants that continue to look good even after they're not blooming.
Of course, Oregon sunshine.
Of course.
That's like
Is that what this is over here?
Yeah, there's
this
tons of it here, and
that's funny. I never realized it kind
likes-
of looks like an artemisia, like a little bit.
the leaves,
Yeah.
it's silvery.
Yeah, they are very silvery.
And then there's the Potentilla gracilis.
So there's a herbaceous potentilla and a shrubby potentilla. Huh?
Well, there are multiple herbaceous Potentilla species.
Okay, it's maybe one
Yeah.
that needs to be in gardens more. And it has such beautiful leaves too, these like serrated. It's kind of like a dandelion flower. That is so cute.
They're closing because it's too bright right now.
Oh. It's great, this little medley of grasses back here.
Yeah.
Sorry, not all grasses.
They're all grasses.
Oh,
right
okay.
here, this is grass. There's some sedges. So yeah, so some native prairie grass, even though I've kind of shied away from planting grasses because people have a hard time maintaining spaces with grasses because they think that a weedy grass might actually be the native grass and then it takes over. So I'm kind of going towards like just doing sedges, especially in gardens that we don't do much of the maintenance.
And is it because sedges have edges and they're easier to, like, so
they
it's easier
just
for
look
gardeners
different
to see.
enough from the grasses. These are different prairie grasses. The bluish leaf here, it's very narrow. That's Roemers fescue.
Okay.
And then we have Xanthonia californica. Look at these spikelets. See how they do this thing where they kind of like bend like this?
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
That is so cute.
Yeah, the California oatgrass. And then there's...
Aww. And some nice red in there too.
Yeah.
I was gonna point out.
And then this is prairie Junegrass over here.
Oh,
Cutleria acrantha.
Yeah.
And
I love this one over here.
oh yeah, that's Brome carinatus.
That is just swaying so gracefully in the wind. And the inflorescences are just a light. They're gorgeous. You did mostly 3 species, it sounds like.
Yeah, there's like 4 species of native grasses and then 3 species of native sedges. There's Carex inops in here. I really like this sedge here. It's kind of like more airy, more diffuse in the way the rhizomes spread and they send out new growth. That doesn't kind of take over so much as some of these sedges that just like, oh, I'm a solid mound.
And you're happy with all of the choices here? Like, these are not aggressive?
I'm kind of shying away from some of the grasses also because they can some of them can reseed too much. But I think it looks good the way it does, and it feels like a real prairie in many ways, and it wouldn't if I didn't have something like such a quintessential prairie plant like the Roemers fescue, for instance. There's a bunch of seed heads here. They're still sort of in bloom. But this is the iris tenax.
Oh, beautiful.
The
What
Oregon
is
iris.
tiny bloom? Are they all that tiny?
That's just a late
a
one.
one. Okay.
But it's actually a little bit of partial shade on this side. And it's a good kind of place for them.
I like it how you did, kind of a big grouping of grasses too. Like, I could envision a bench here and it's just a really good calming upfront area and then just this like explosion of color and flowers behind. That's really peaceful to go over the garden from this way.
Yeah.
And I'd love to talk about your shrub layer that you planted.
This is Scouler's willow, which is a great native willow, and it grows really fast, a dryland one, upland kind of one.
And it's more like a tree than a shrub. Or, it seems like a small tree.
Yeah, it forms quite a large tree over a short time.
Cool.
Yeah, this was planted 4 years ago. It's a large specimen.
I love how many trunks there are too. I love multi-trunked trees.
And willows are really good for habitat.
With the early pussy willow flowers.
Yeah, and also like different caterpillars eat the leaves and
et cetera.
Sure. There's mock orange, of course. Some of these plants are like really more commonly planted and maybe not exciting.
I think it's still really good to see them in their mature forms. I think that's what a lot of people are missing is seeing plants not in a nursery pot. And so this is the mock orange.
Yeah.
And how old is this specimen?
This was also planted a little over 4 years ago.
Okay.
4.5 years ago. And look at this Quercus gariana, or Oregon oak.
Yeah.
See, they're not terribly slow growing.
Yeah, you've got a
they
nice...
turn into a nice little tree.
Definitely making a statement, and probably will have some really nice fall color.
Yeah, and for a future generation, it'll be this beautiful, gnarly old oak tree.
Yeah. So are you cutting these back at all, or pruning these, or is this kind of their natural?
It appears that, yes, they've been being pruned a bit.
Okay.
I think it's nice because then you can see more of the shrub layers behind it.
Oh yeah, so she's kind of just keeping them a little more upright maybe.
Yeah, and just not quite so tall.
Okay.
But they're putting out some new growth. And
they smell amazing.
Of course. So this is the Checker-Mallow. Look at this one here.
Oh wow.
So this
pretty.
is Sidalcea campestris, and it grows taller than some of the other species, sometimes like taller than me. This is a really neat specimen here. You see, do you like Serviceberry?
You mean eating them?
Yeah, both.
I don't think I've eaten one that I've liked, but maybe, I think it's been
You have to try them. Sometimes they're
time.
better, sometimes they're not as good.
I mean, look at this little berry cluster. That looks like it'll be really tasty soon enough. So you're a big fan?
Yeah, serviceberries are a great wildlife plant.
You want to get a closer?
And they had a bunch of flowers early this spring, and those are going to ripen up.
Great.
And
do you know, is it kind of grow in this form, or is this kind of more tree form up?
It's been pruned in that form.
I love it. That's a great way to showcase a plant like this.
Yeah, I want it to almost look like a little orchard here of serviceberry. But there's one that looks like a little savanna tree by my parents' house, and I wanted this one to look like that, you know?
Oh, cool. How big is that one?
Oh, it's like 15, 20 feet tall.
Okay.
Or no, it's actually over 20 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
It's maybe a world record little serviceberry.
And is this the woodland strawberry or the coastal?
That's Fragaria virginiana, which is the native prairie strawberry. And it has a little bit more of a bluish cast to the leaf. You can see the little tooth in the end leaflet is shorter than the two teeth on either side there.
So that's how you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they also just generally have a different appearance.
It's very cute. I love it.
Delicious. They don't always fruit, but
when they do, it's worth it.
I ate a lot of them as a child. They're really flavorful.